Alright everyone, welcome to the official SmurfCup cast. I'm Thomas Mangozi, aka G-Geek, and I welcome you for SmurfScup Canyon number 357. Let's actually switch to this in-game scene right here, so we're gonna have a little bit of a less crowded edition this time around. Some people have not answered the call for various reasons. One of them is Harsa, currently on vacation, so I wish him to have a very good trip. Ender unfortunately won't be able to make it, so will Maxi, and so will our streak winner Cloud. The man who won 5 Smurf Cups in a row is not able to make it for this edition, so we're guaranteed to have a new winner. But whose is it gonna be? This is gonna be the whole suspense. So, for those of you who don't know what the Smurf Cup is, here's a little quick rundown once again. So here we go. The competition is played in rounds mode over the course of 7 maps. The map is won once a player reaches a points tally of 180 points or more. All the points scored by all the players are tallied up for the final rankings, and the player with the most points wins the 6,000 planets share of the 20,000 planets that are at stake in each Smurf Cup. So, second Smurf Cup of the month of June, we still got the same map rotation for the entire month. We're gonna start out then with Aeon Prime by Adjo, moving on then to Grand Focus from Nordplay and Ibo. Third map will be Amnesia by Revulse. Whilst the halfway map will be Drive by Stalking from Bootifara, moving on then to Anoia by Aracho. The second to last map will be the Elevated by Zombak, and closing off the map is the map you see currently on screen, Mookbark from Ibo. So let's actually go through some of the players and get out of this Camp 7 real quick. There it is. So we do have a few players returning, so as I said, it's not going to be as populated as previous Smurf Cups have been, and some of the key players will be out of contention. They could not make their way to the Smurf Cup, so they're really unfortunate for them. But yeah, this is a guarantee of a new winner. Cloud has won the last 5 Smurf Cups in a row, all the way back into the end of April. He has actually won Smurf Cup number 352. Yeah, 352, there you go. Me getting my maths right, guys. Anyway, so along the people that are actually gonna make it are Larence, one of the close contenders from the last few Smurf Cups, from the main team Hot Boys, currently entered in SCL CEP Season 5 as part of Team Pampa Jabat, along with a few other teammates. Then, going further down the table, we got Bootifara, the maker of Drive by Stalking, and a few other great maps that were already played in Smurf Cups, who's gonna play on home ground at the midway through, Bootifara from Uruguay. Then we got Ibo, map maker, responsible for 2 of the maps, or 1 map and a half of what happened. Nordplay's map, he collaborated with Nordplay's map and also submitted Mookbark, which we're playing this month. And he's also one of the administrators of Mania Exchange. Moving on them we see AD Racing's Fat Kid, one of the teams that are entered in the SCL CEP's Open League, and who actually came out the clear winner of that league with 222 points at the end of the group stage. He's gonna also be contending the qualification final for of the Season 5 of CEP on June 16th, along with 7 other teams. The goal for them is going to be to grab a spot for the one of the 4 spots that are up for grabs for the grand final. Moving on then to Suron, one of the other big contenders to actually look after for this Smurf Cup. Now that Cloud is out of the way, he will have just a battle with Larence to worry about in order to actually win. Then we are moving further. We are seeing Mini Beanie making a return. The guy who fought beautifully in Smurf Cup 353 with the guys further up the field, and unfortunately it all kind of unraveled after that for the Finnish driver. He was not able to really consistently score points to be of any challenge for the leaders. Then moving on to the Smurf members, we already touched on Ibo. We also got Lex, one of the, well, lesser scale is a bit of a harsh word, but he is one of the newer, one of the more novice players of Canyon, and he's been making some steady progress over the course of the last few events that he made. Let's actually pull up the rankings. I'm actually pulling up the rankings of the last Smurf Cup that was played. He actually finished in 16th place with 243 points last week, so he's definitely making progress, and I look forward to see what he can pull out next. next up we can actually find, let's see, we also got Broccoli moving, participating this week, member of Team Smurfin' 1, who's also going to duke it out next Sunday, next Sunday for a potential spot in the grand final of CEP Season 5. Also, we got Meister CZ from Team Lincoln, one of the regulars of the Smurf Cup. Also, we got Multi from Team DER, another regular of Canyon. And we also got React from Smurf, and so far this seems to be the fair amount of the only amount of players that we have. A few other players might join midway through, just before the cup starts, so we're just gonna wait a little bit and see what the final players tally is gonna look like. I'll be right back. And we're back. I just had to close my door really quickly. I might also change camera really quick. Oh, shit. Sorry. Involuntary scene change. Hold on. Alright, I'll consider the proposition, Chaos Gamers. Or atwitch.com, rather. So, anyway, those are gonna be the players, and yeah, we're 30 seconds away from the beginning of the actual Smurf Cup. Let's actually see if I can actually change the camera angles. Now we're gonna have to do this the manual way. There we go. Alright, sorry about this, guys. That was a little bit of a hairy moment. I forgot that one of my binds is due to the camera. So, warm-up is done, and now we're about to start SmurfCup number 357, a bit of a less crowded edition as previously talked over in the beginning of this cast. As we see other players popping, I'm actually just gonna do something really quick. There you go. Shouldn't have any notifications now. Mapped 1 out of 7, and we see actually Yalmer, or Zolida Zehond, making his way into the server at the last moment. So we got Zolida Zehond, the man who actually saved Team Smurfin' 3 from, actually managed to get Team Smurfin' 3 into the qualification final of SCLCEP. So Team Smurfin' 3, the team that I'm actually a part of, will be contesting that qualification final next week on June the 16th for a potential spot at the grand final. We're not really sure what our chances are, but we're gonna give it our all, that's for sure. So, with the cameras sorted out, we're gonna be able to see what everything is all about. So, Suram and Larens, the definite favorites. Fat Kid, may be the one to watch. As for other point scorers, it will be interesting to see what Aibo has to offer. He's really hungry for points in the top 10. Points for the top 10 are definitely up for grabs round there. So, everybody finishing their warm-up round, and we're about to see what everything is about. So, warm-up is done, and here we go. We are about to start Map 1, Aeon Prime by Ajo, with the world record held by Cloud with a 46.391, and we're actually going to be following Suram. Also, quick check back to the scoreboard. So, Suram having a bit of a slow start. Fat Kid actually clipping the wall and thus losing a lot of speed after the first checkpoint. Broccoli, Larens, Butifara, Suram, and Zehond. Suram overtaking Broccoli for the lead. Nice and tidy lines from Suram, carrying a lot of momentum. Larens trying to put up a fight with him. And meanwhile behind, Butifara and Mini Beanie battling over P3, with Mini Beanie being tug and war, and React also getting a little bit in the mix, as we can actually spectate React. But actually, let's spectate Butifara. He must have made a mistake, and there's also a full stopping in there. I don't know who that was. I'm afraid that was Mini Beanie, unfortunately. But as we go back towards the lead. It seems that the Suram wins it. It's Suram, Larens, React, Broccoli, Fat Kid, Bootifara, Ibo, and 7 completes your top 8. Meanie Beanie finishes the round. He must be pretty disappointed with himself after such a good battle with the lead, and Lex finishes in P14. And a new Dedimania record for Suram with a 46.512. He's still a little bit of a ways away from the world record currently held by Cloud, which is a 46.391. Alright, so here we go. Let's follow Suram once again for this round. So Suram taking an early lead after round 1. Lex going a little bit wide. People not managing to keep it off the wall. It's Fat Kid, Perkily, Suram, Larens, and Botifara top 5 after 7.1. Suram overtaking everyone, including Fat Kid, for the lead. Now onto the platform section. Transitioning onto the tarmac. Everybody getting it nice and smooth. Now onto the U-turn. Nice line at the end of the first apex, and good second apex as well from Suram, who retains the lead. Let's actually try to follow one who's a little bit further behind. Larens battling with Fat Kid for P2. Fat Kid making a small mistake and lets Larens through. It's going to be over the next couple of corners that everything is going to potentially change. Larens is a little bit too far away to put an attack on Suram, so it's Suram, Larens, Fat Kid, Meanie Beanie, Broccoli, React, 7, and Multi for round 2. Everybody else finishing the round, including Zolita Zahond and Lex. MDF, unfortunately, seemed to have had a respawn as he's all the way back there, but he will be able to finish the round in time and will be finishing in P17. So, after 2 rounds, 100 points for Suram means that he extends his lead over Larens. He's got now a 10 points buffer between him and second place. Fat Kid then follows on 77 points. 75 points then gives React 4th place, and who's just 1 point in front of Broccoli. Following Larens for this round, Yelmer going towards the wall and losing a lot of momentum, being taken away from the racing line. React, Suram, Larens, Meanie Beanie, and Broccoli battling with each other. The top 4 bunched up right there. Broccoli making a mistake, and that's the end of it for the challenge for that man. Suram in front of Larens, then Meanie Beanie, React, and Bootifara for your top 5. Let's actually trying to follow Fat Kid a little bit. He was a little bit further behind. We're taking Bootifara for P5, trying to catch on the top 4 battle with Meanie Beanie, trying to potentially spring up a surprise, battling with React for P3. React with a somewhat more momentum. It's going to be over the final couple of corners. We're in the lead. There could be a swap. Suram and Larens battling with each other. Suram manages to keep the head. And it's Suram finishing first ahead of Larens, React, Meanie Beanie, Fat Kid, 7, Bootifara, and Ibo. Lex finishing the round and overtaking one of the contenders, so finishing P15. Fame finishing in P17. And that is it for round 3. So Suram, 150 points. Larens, 135. Already a 15-point buffer. However small, it is actually a pretty good margin. So 150, 135, 116, 113, and 96 are your top 5 points tally. Only 30 points needed by this man, Suram, to close off the map. Fat Kid with a somewhat tight line. He does not really get it. Well, he was a really shallow corner entry. Morty actually springing up a surprise and getting the whole shot after CP1, but he's progressively falling back down the field, so we're not going to see him. It's Larens, Broccoli, and Suram battling for the top 3 positions. Larens in the lead so far. Broccoli getting a little bit wide, maybe trying to get a bit more momentum. Suram overtaking both of them, making short work of Larens with a much better line through the U-turn. And as we follow some of the chasers, Fat Kid actually having made a huge mistake, dropped even behind Lex. That must be somewhere in the neighborhood of 15. There you go, 16th position. Meanwhile, we are going to try to get back to the lead with Larens and Suram. Suram is going to save it, and it's going to be a clean sweep for Suram, who collects the full 200 points for 4-round wins. So it's Suram, Larens, React, Ibo, Multi, Meanie Beanie, Bootifara, and Broccoli for your top 8 of round 4. MDF coming along to finishing P16. As far as for Smurf goes, we see Lex finishing in P14, Zahon in P15, Ibo actually finishing in P4, Fame finishing in P17 as well. And here we go then, 204 points versus 180, and it is Suram who takes map 1. We will be checking the full standings after the map switch. So there we go. After map 1 then, Suram in front with 200 points. Then second is Larens on 180. React is third with 157. Fat Kid fourth with 137. And completing the top 5 is Meanie Beanie with 130. Ibo then follows in 6th with 128. 7th is Porkerly with 126. 7 is 8th with 124. 8th, Butifara 9th with 122. And completing the top 10 is Multi on 118. Following them from 11th to 17th is 56K Morty, Zayhond, Meister CZ, Lex, MDF, Uniben, and Fame. So, on to map 2, which is Grand Focus is from Norplay in collaboration with Ibo, one of the faster, flowier maps of this particular map pack for the month of June, and the world record is currently held by Cloud with a 46.195. Everybody finishing their warm-up as we speak. A pretty tricky final corner, sequence of corners with the right one, with the final corner needed to be drifted, and it is really difficult to keep the contact patch with the road as we go over the hill. It is really common to actually overcook it and end up be sent flying over the finish. So, warm-up is done, and we're actually going to be following... Let's see, who can we follow? We're going to be following Mini Beanie for this round. So here we go, the start downhill. Everybody going for the drift strat, Mini Beanie. Not getting the whole shot, it's going to be Zayholm who's going to have that honor, but he's going to be falling back as he had a bit of a wide line. So far it's Fat Kid, Larens, Suram, Mini Beanie, Procoli for the top 5, and Ibo trying to get into the mix, but he's dropped a little bit further back. Everybody making the jump pretty safely. Mini Beanie, P4, waiting for someone to make a mistake. Suram and Fat Kid battling over the lead for now. Larens trying to get it in the mix. He probably could be overtaking Suram for P2. Yes, he does. But Suram is not giving up without a fight. Suram now battling for the lead with Fat Kid. Mini Beanie with Larens in P3, and Larens seems to have made a mistake, so now it's Mini Beanie through. Suram is in the lead through the final sequence of corners. On to the final corner. It's going to be a battle to the line, but no, Suram has enough of a buffer, so it is Suram first in front of Fat Kid, Mini Beanie, Procoli, Larens, Ibo, React, and Multi. Butifara coming round to finish in P15. Lex finished in P13 in front of Uniben. Butifara actually finished in P15. I thought he would drop the place to Fame by stopping in front of the finish line. MDF finishing last. So then, Suram once again off to a good start with a full 50 points for a round win. Let's actually follow Fat Kid for this round. Everybody getting for the drift strap once again. Someone actually clipped the wall. I suspected it was Ibo. Don't quote me on that though. So, Larens, Suram, Fat Kid, Procoli, and Multi for your top 5. The top 4 battle right there. Larens, Suram, Procoli, and Fat Kid. Procoli getting a little bit wide, allowing Fat Kid through to P3. Fat Kid now making ground on Larens. Onto this particular right-hander, and Larens doesn't really get it right. Fat Kid making a lot more momentum and making short work of him to go into P2. Now he's gonna have to try and catch the Norwegian driver Suram for the lead. Onto the final corners we go. Through the jump. A bit of an odd line there for Fat Kid. He's gonna suffer. He goes wide on the right-hander and he glitches the wall, and he lets Larens and Procoli through, so he drops down to P4 in the end. Suram, Larens, Procoli, Fat Kid, Multi, 7, React, and... Whoa. Who is this? Road Capta. Are your top 8. Holy crap, that was a holy hell name to read. I'm really sorry guys, my brain failed to comprehend that. Anyway, so Suram, 2 out of 2, 100 points for him. Fat Kid still in second place, but with 83 points, just 2 points in front of Larens. Then follows Sparkly on 79 points, and Multi rounds out the top 5 with 66 points. With Fat Kid once again through the start, 7 gets the whole shot, but will actually drop further down the field as he had the wrong line. So it is Procoli, Fat Kid, Suram, Larens once again, and Multi again in the top 5. He's trying to get some valuable points through there. Fat Kid battling with Larens for P2. Procoli getting into the mix as well. Procoli battling with Fat Kid for P2 now. And it seems as though Fat Kid has a better line and manages to go through. Mini Beanie making a resurgence and moving up into the battle for P3. Let's actually try to follow him a bit. If I can find him. Mini Beanie, there he is. A little bit further, a little bit too far away to actually make an attack on the top 2. But he seems like his top 3 place is safe. And so it is Suram, Fat Kid, Mini Beanie, Bootifara. No, yeah, Bootifara finishing in P4. Then follows Zehond, Multi, Ibo, and React. Larens having made a huge mistake. He was in the contention for the top 3 positions, and in the end, a huge mistake forced him to respawn and finish in P15 behind Lex. Broccoli also having made a huge mistake will finish 17th and last this round. So, Suram again, 150 points, gives him the lead. Then follows Fat Kid on 128. Then Multi jumps everyone to jumps Larens to P3 with 100 points. Larens is just 3 points back, so he couldn't make a comeback. And then React is 5th with 94. Mini Beanie getting the whole shot by dropping a little bit further back. So far, Suram, Fat Kid, Broccoli, Larens, and Mini Beanie for your top 5. Larens with carrying a lot more momentum. Bootifara overtaking Mini Beanie for the benefit of P5. But Mini Beanie is not having any of it. And even Road Captain trying to move it into battle, but unfortunately it was too late. But Broccoli making a mistake and thus dropping back down to P5, allowing Mini Beanie through to P4. And Mini Beanie potentially making short work of Fat Kid and Larens. Is he a little bit greedy? We're going to see Larens and Fat Kid battling over each other for P2. Through the final corners. Mini Beanie with a bit of an odd line as well. He goes somewhat wide, battling with Larens for P3. It's going to be over the line, though. So it's a Suram, Fat Kid, Larens, Mini Beanie, Broccoli, Multi, 7, and React for your top 8 of round 4. And with this, it is another clean sweep for Suram. The full 200 points gives them map number 2. In front of Fat Kid, who's going to score 45 points and thus take his points tally to 183. Fame making donuts, confident that he would not be able to make it to the finish. And so, the round ends, and the final points tally for this map is as follows. 200 points for Suram gets the WAP win, 173 points for Fat Kid, and 138 points for Larens completes the top 3. Multi missing out by just 4 points of the top on the top 3 position. Suram first, then on 400 points, then follows Larens on 318. Fat Kid is third on 310, React 4th on 281, and Broccoli is 5th, completing the top 5 with 255. We're going to check the standings right after the map switch. So then, after 2 maps, Suram is in front with 400 points. 4 map 8 round wins, 400 points for him. Then comes Larens in 2nd place with 318 points, 8 points in front of Fat Kid in 3rd with 310. 4th is React with 281, and completing the top 5 is Broccoli with 255 points. Following then in 6th is Multi with 252. Mini Beanie is just 2 points behind in P7. Then in 8th place we've got Ibo, with 246 points. 9th is 7 with 240, and Zeli de Zehon finishes in is rounding out the top 10 with 202 points. From 11th to 18th, in that order, are 56k Morty, Bootifara, Meister CZ, Lex, MDF, Ben, Fame, and Roadcapta. So, moving on to the 3rd map then, Amnesia by Revels. This is where things start to get a little bit more technical than the first 2 maps. Still a rather flowy map nonetheless, and the record currently held by Cloud with a 57.606. And it seems that though judging from the warm-up, we may expect a few mistakes to happen even among the top guys. I mean, we've seen Larens fail pretty dramatically in the 2nd round, and actually dropped a few vital points that allow Multi to actually have a chance of fighting for P3 in that particular map. Anyway, so we're gonna be following Zoleda Zehon for that particular round. And yeah, warm-up is over. Map 3, Amnesia, about to start. So, following Zoleda Zehon through the start, 1 car staying at the start, and I think it must be Mini Beanie judging by the livery. Not sure though. Oh, someone having a full stop pick right there. That must be painful. I didn't actually see whose it was. So far, Suram in the lead. Needs Elysion down in P10. He's trying to get a mounted challenge, though. So it's Suram, Larens, Fat Kid, Bootifara, 7, Broccoli. Then we got Multi and Zehon battling over each other to try and stay in the top 10 and maybe have a relevance for the top 3 positions. But let's actually try to switch over to one of the guys in the lead. Let's actually try to follow Mini Beanie. He had a bit of a shitty start, so maybe that was over for him. So Larens so far in the lead. 2/10 in front of Suram. No, actually, Suram having made a mistake, so he's even been overtaken by Fat Kid. Let's actually spectate him. Fat Kid trying to make some ground on Larens, but it's not going to be enough. Only one corner to go, and Larens seems as though he's going to have it in the bag. So Larens first in front of Fat Kid, Suram, Ibo, Procoli, Roadcaptor, 56k Morty, and 7. React finishing in P12, Lex 11th, and Yalmer, or Zolid de Zeon, finishes in the top 10. Meanwhile, Mini Beanie is... it is going to be a tight fit, but he might... No, he's going to make it to the finish and grab the points for lowly P17 with 1 second to spare. There it is. So, after round 1, it is not Suram, but Larens who actually takes the lead of the map this time. And we're going to be following Suram over the start. Suram with a bit of an inside line, a little bit of a cut on the grass there. That's going to give him a little bit of the advantage against Larens. He gets the whole shot against him. So it's Suram, Larens, React, Multi, and Fat Kid. Multi actually dropping back in favor of 7. And everything seems to be really changing. Nip and tuck. Only 2/10 separate the top 5. Let's actually try to switch Fat Kid here. Fat Kid battling with Larens for P2. Fat Kid gets the advantage over the U-turn, but much more momentum from Larens at the exit is a lot. Oh, and Suram with a huge mistake, a huge full stop back on this part, and that's gonna drop him all the way down the field. Ben gets right past him. Oh, Ben actually failing as well. And as we see the standings, he drops down to P14. That's one round thrown away from Suram. He could have been leading this one and got himself back into shape, but it looks as though it will not be, and it is going to be a second round win for Larens in this map. So it's Larens, Fat Kid, Mini Beanie, Procoli, React, Roadcaptor, Multi, and Ibo, your top 8. MDF coming round to finish in P13, just in front of Suram. Just behind Suram, sorry. 7 finishing in P14. P15 is Meister CZ, then following are Ben and Lex, if I'm not mistaken. No, Fame finishes in P16, and Ben, it finished in P17. There you go. So, Larens, 100 points in first. He was 10 points in front of Fat Kid in second with 90 points. Then third is Procoli on 74, 68 points. Then fourth equal are Ibo and Roadcaptor on 68. Following Larens for this round, as we see Suram getting the whole shot once again, but he choked pretty heavily on the the last round, so let's see if that happens again. Suram and React battling in for the lead. Larens making short work of React and moving back into the battle for the lead against Suram. Suram with a little bit less momentum than Larens. He could concede that position through the U-turn, and it looks as though Larens has got much better momentum this time round. Suram does not get... Oh, and full stopping this one on the behalf of Larens, and so he drops down the order after Suram. Larens gets hit by the spectator curse, and down to P12 he goes. Meanwhile, let's start really trying to spectate Suram. He's not putting a foot wrong right now. Mini Beanie 6/10 back. He's looking to secure P2. A lot of mistakes have been made. An 8/10 of a second gap between Suram and Mini Beanie, and 1.5 seconds between 7 and Suram. And there we go. Suram finishes first in front of Mini Beanie, 7, Fat Kid, Multi, Zehorn, Ibo, and Roadcaptor. Mini Beanie finishing a full second behind Suram. React coming round to finish in P18 and last. He must have had an unfortunate mistake that we didn't see. And so, the points table has changed. Fat Kid with a new now the leader with 128 points. 8 points in front of Larens in second. Then Suram coming back into the fight with 113 points. And then again, fourth equal on 100 points are Ibo and Mini Beanie this time. Following him through the first couple of corners as we see 7, React, Fat Kid, and Suram. Oh, Suram with a bit of a bug, and now he drops down the order. That might be that's surely going to be map challenge over for Suram. Larens taking the lead and taking charge in front of Fat Kid and Mini Beanie battling for P2, and Mini Beanie make a bit of a mistake. He's gonna drop a few places. Let's actually follow some of the guys further down the pack. We got Ibo trying to make short of Roadcaptor in the 911 RSR. Ibo moving up to P4 and trying to catch his teammate React for P3. And he sees as though he's a bit too far away to actually plan an attack and get away with third place, or he actually may be able to do something in the final corner. React is starting to gray out, but no. Larens in front of Fat Kid, React, Ibo, Roadcaptor, Suram, Zehond, and Minibini, your top 8. Larens coming back into the fight then against Fat Kid. Fat Kid only having 173 points, so we're gonna have one more round, which would be the decider, unless we get a tie. We also got a few other players joining into the fray. Highling 55 and let's say it, Eiling Paint. There you go. So Fat Kid first on 173 points, 3 points in front of Larens on 170. Then Suram third on 147. 148 points gives Ibo fourth, and fifth place goes to Roadcaptor with 134. So far, Suram seems to have got the whole shot once again, but the whole shots don't mean anything if you don't manage to get to the end safely. Let's see how the Norwegian fares this time around. Suram in front of Larens, Minibini, React, and Zehond. Onto the U-turn we go. Oh, a bit of a late drift initiated by Suram. That's going to allow someone through, and it is Minibini who rises to the challenge and takes over the lead. Larens trying to take advantage as well, and that's going to be a battle between these three guys for the lead now. Suram taking over the lead with just 10 thousandths of a second. Suram now pulling a little bit of a gap between him and Larens. Larens trying to take the fight with much more aggressive cornering, but I don't know if it's going to pan out. Oh, Larens with much more momentum than Suram. He's going to overtake him before the last turn and thus ensure himself, or maybe not. Suram overtakes him and takes the win with 11 thousandths of a second left. So Suram, Larens, Fat Kid, Minibini, React, 7, Morty, and Multi, your top 8. A really great finish to this round. And it looks as though, with the standings that they are, Larens is going to take over Fat Kid's lead and actually win map number 3. Yes, it is. Just a 4-point difference was needed, and there you go. For one single point, Larens takes the map. Larens wins with 215 points in front of Fat Kid on 214, and Suram on 197. Suram still first with 597 points, Larens second on 533, Fat Kid third on 524, React fourth on 429, and Minibini closes the top 5 with 418. Right after the map switch, we're checking the results. So then, Suram still in front with 597 points to his account. Second then is Larens with 533 points. Top 3 is Fat Kid with 524 points. Fourth is React with 429. And completing the top 5 is Minibini with 418. Ibo is 6th with 410. 7th is Procoli with 400. Multi 8th with 498, sorry a little bit for the pauses. 9th is 7 with 489, and closing the top 10 is Solida Zehond with 342, sorry. From 11th to 19th downwards is 46k Morty, Lex, Meister CZ, MDF, Roadcaptor, Uniben, Bootifara, Fame, and Highlink 55. So, speaking of Booty, we actually just briefly mentioned Bootifara, and we're now driving on his map. We're already halfway through the SmurfCup. So this is Drive-By Stalking, a map made by Bootifara that gives a lot of Trackmania Turbo vibes in terms of the scenery, of the signs that are used, the types of corners that you see, the types of sections that you actually get. It has such a vibe to it. It has such a Trackmania Turbo vibe, and it's really cool to see that kind of vibe of map making into Trackmania 2. So the record here is held once again by Cloud with a 50.312. And we're going to be actually specking someone else. We're going to be specking Procoli for the start of the next round. Procoli, having not had the best of runs, he's still in the running for the top 10 finish in this occasion. But yeah, he must have dreamed of better, such as fighting for the lead. Anyway, here we go then. Map start. Map number 4. Following Procoli for this round with a helicopter drop into the quarter pipe and thus start the map. And there are actually a lot of people failing over the little bridge section there. Zehond gets the whole shot. He might actually drop back. So Larens, Suram, Procoli, Minibini, and Bootifara, your top 5 after CP2. Procoli with a much better line and actually completely overly undercooks it. Morty also making a huge mistake, but turning in a bit too early. He glitches a container, and thus Broccoli is down to P12. Let's actually try to get with some of the guys in the field. Fat Kid battling with Mini Beanie for the benefit of P2. Mini Beanie still in front with 30 thousandths of a second and in front. Suram still pulling ahead clear. It seems as though we have lost Larens. He must have had made a mistake, and there we go. We see him flipping, and he's gonna be finishing dead last for sure. Anyways, back to the front now. Suram over the finish, and he wins the round. So it's Suram, Fat Kid, Mini Beanie, Ibo, Broccoli, 7, Lex, and Zehon. Lex making his first appearance in the top 8 today. And it seems as though there was a huge gap between the first and 8th place. So you can see a 7-second gap between 1st and 8th. This is going to be a map of many mistakes, and many mistakes even made by some of the good guys, such as Larens, who unfortunately flipped over. So Suram takes an early lead in front of Fat Kid, Mini Beanie, Ibo, and Broccoli, following him for this round. Okay, most people managing to go safely through. Someone getting a really shallow entry at the checkpoint. He's going to be somewhat deserved then. So Larens, Fat Kid, Suram, Broccoli, Reactor top 5 after CP2, and it seems as though someone may have been glitching. And Mini Beanie so far in the top 5. Suram in P4, Broccoli P3, Larens and Fat Kid battling over the lead now. Onto the bank turn, and it seems as though the lines are equal for Fat Kid and Larens, who stay in their position. Broccoli making a mistake, clipping the inside of the checkpoint and thus dropping down places to P5, allowing both Suram and Mini Beanie through to P3 and P4 respectively. Suram may be trying to catch the two guys in front and potentially spring a surprise. Onto the final corner we go, onto the platform jump. Oh, Fat Kid with a huge mistake, and thus that's going to be a huge throwaway for him. Larens finishes in front of Suram, Broccoli, Mini Beanie, Zehond, 56k Morty, Ibo, and Roadcapta for your top 8. But Fat Kid must be kicking over himself, throwing away valuable points like this. There you go, you can see him in the chat writing his miscontent. Lex not able to finish the round, unfortunately, so after that stellar performance in round 1, he's not going to be able to repeat that. And Fat Kid collects a lowly 16 points, and thus gets demoted down to P7 in the standings. So far, Suram still in front with 95 points, in front of Mini Beanie on 79, Broccoli is 3rd on 77, Larens is 4th on 74, and Ibo clinches the top 5 on 70 points. And so the first 5, and so the P2 to P5 have less than 10 points between them. So this is going to be an exciting battle for P2. Meanwhile, as we see Mini Beanie trying to put up a fight to the lead, Larens in front of Mini Beanie, Broccoli, Fat Kid, and React. Suram now getting into the mix for P3. He gets the whole shot against Mini Beanie, but Mini Beanie with a better turn, maybe even overtaking Broccoli in the process. No, actually, Suram with a little bit of a kick now manages to get more momentum and overtake potentially Mini Beanie for P3. There he goes. He also makes short work of Broccoli to move up into P2. Larens with a mistake, and that's probably going to be a battle for the lead. A 3-way scrap for the lead right there. So here we go. Suram now pulling away from Larens. Larens going back into the inside of the corner over the jump. He's going to be over the line. Larens wins it. So it's Larens, Suram, Broccoli, Mini Beanie, React, Ibo, Zoli the Zehon, and Fat Kid, your top 8 for round 3. Oh boy, that battle for the lead right there in this round was pretty tense. All the way to the final corner. So, Highling 55, unfortunately, missing the jump and will not be able to finish. Meister CZ finishing in P15, and Uniben finishing in P16. But so far, it seems as though the standing stayed, and Larens actually moves back up to P2. So, 140 points is going to give Suram the lead. Then Larens comes in second with 124, Broccoli third at 118, 1 point in front of Mini Beanie, and we actually saw a huge mistake. I didn't actually see the name. So Larens in front of Broccoli and Suram, Fat Kid and React complete the top 5. Suram actually making short work of Broccoli and Larens, potentially overtaking them after this jump, but no, Larens actually making a huge gap, and Broccoli making a huge mistake. Larens as well! Or was it a voluntary kind of trajectory change? I don't know, but also Suram kind of choking as well, allowing Fat Kid over into the lead. Let's actually try to spectate Fat Kid. He's going to try to repay for his mistake and try to get as much points on board as he can. He's out of the fight for the map win right there. In fact, it seems as though he has it under control, but we have to follow a resurgence maybe from Suram in the final corners, over the jump. Oh, Suram now with the full stop pick. It was Fatkid a few rounds ago, now it's Suram who makes the huge mistake, and thus Fatkid actually takes the win of the map, of the round. So Fatkid in front of Larens, Multi, Ibo, Zehon, Mini Bini, MDF, and Roadcaptor, your top 8. Hello, Cloud. You don't worry about it, man. Don't worry about it. You missed. Basically, Suram took the first 2 maps, and Larens took map number 3. So Aeon Prime was Suram's, Brand Focus was Suram's, and the third map was Amnesia was Larens's. So far, it is Suram in the lead. 169 points versus 158. Larens takes the lead from Suram, and we have one more round to go. 142 points equal. Oh, and someone made a mistake. I don't know who that is. Ibo seems to be somewhat safe. Suram again getting the whole shot. He gets into the lead once again in front of Larens, Fatkid, Mini Bini, and Procoli. Sorry if I'm specking those guys a lot, but this is the battle for the lead right there. Procoli trying to overtake Fatkid, and Suram getting back into the mix. Suram having made a mistake, dropping down to P5. Larens in the lead now in front of Mini Bini and Fatkid, who are battling for P2. Fatkid with a lot more speed, and Mini Bini actually choking a little bit in the vine corner. Loses a lot of momentum and drops down to P5. Larens in front of Fatkid and Suram right now. Procoli maybe taking the fight to Suram and Fatkid. Suram with a much better speed, but he touches the wall. So that's going to steal the deal for Suram, and Larens is going to go through, and Procoli actually making a mistake and flipping over. Larens went to the round in front of Fatkid, Mini Bini, Suram, 7, Zehond, Multi, and Procoli finishes in 8th after that horrendous flip that we actually saw. And so with this, map 4 is sealed, and it is the second map that goes in favor of Larens, and he actually is gonna continue to claw that gap back to Suram. Suram started with a full sweep, with a clean sweep of the first 8 rounds. The first 2 maps were his, with a full 400 points to his account. 219 points gets the win, gives Larens the win on the map. Second is Larens is Suram on 196, and third is Mini Bini on 192. Suram still in the lead, but Larens is dangerously catching up. Fatkid still in P3, Mini Bini in P4, and Ibo completes the top 5. After the map switch, we're gonna check the results. Oh boy. Man, my Mania Planet almost crashed. Alright, so Suram in first after map 4. Suram first with 793 points. Larens in second with 752 points. Then third is Fatkid with 710. Mini Bini is fourth, 100 points behind Fatkid. And completing the top 5 is Ibo with 580 points. Procoli is 6th with 572 points. 7th is Multi with 553. 8th is 7 with 531. 9th is Zehon with 510, and completing the top 10 is React with 491. From 11th to 19th downwards are MDF, Lex, Meister CZ, 56k Morty, Roadcaptor, Ben, Bootifara, Fame, and Highlink 55. So moving on to map number 5, which is Anoia by Racho. Now, whenever I hear the name Racho, I can only expect flowing momentum-based maps from this mapper, and it is again the case here, but it is also one of the also pretty technical, especially that final section. It is really easy to lose a lot of momentum if you get the line wrong in some key sequences of corners. The record here is held by by Cloud with a 46.736. So far, the current Daily Media is held by Larens with a 47.168, which is 4/10 away from the record that Cloud has set over the course of the last Smurf Cup. So, warm-up is done, and we're actually going to be following Larens for this round. Let's see. Camera, thank you. So, everybody getting away with this drifting turn onto the pipe section, which is one of the peculiarities of this map. Zehon getting the whole shot, but he's getting a little bit wide, so he's going to drop back a little bit. And so Larens emerges in front of the lead. Then Suram battling with him for the lead, and Fatkid going over as well. Suram with a little bit of a worse line, gets the worst of it, and drops down to P3. Fatkid from the Larens, Suram, Bootifara, and Zehond. After CP4, CP5 now, Fatkid and Larens still battling with each other. 33 thousandths of a second separating these two guys. Fatkid with a much tighter line at the entry of the corner, but Larens with much more momentum. He's going to we potentially take a chance. And Fat Kid with a huge stop pick at the scaffolding there. And that's going to allow Larens through to a safe win. He doesn't have to push. And there you go. Larens wins the round in front of Suram, Bootifara, Zehond, Mini Beanie, Aibo, Multi. And 8th place goes to 7. A huge mistake by Fat Kid, who finishes down in P9. I mean, he still collects points, but that was a huge blunder that we did not need to see from the German driver. He had the line completely wrong at the jump, and thus hit the scaffolding pretty hard, coming to a full stoppik, as we call. So, after round 1, then, Larens in front of Suram, Bootifara, Zehond, and Mini Beanie. So, moving on to round 2, let's actually follow Zehond for this round. Going for the drift strat. People tend to go wide through there, through the pipe section. And it is Broccoli who gets the whole shot. Fat Kid with a little bit of an odd line through there. He's going to be dropping a lot of momentum. Larens in front of Suram, Zehond, Bootifara, and Broccoli for the top 5. Aibo getting in the mix as well. He could be paddling for the lead right there. Aibo currently in P3, but gets overtaken by Fat Kid pretty quickly. Fat Kid carrying a lot more momentum, but he also gets very wide, so he's not going to get any position anytime soon. Suram is now in front of Larens, and Aibo, Larens trying to battle with Suram. Let's actually follow these two guys now. In fact, let's actually follow the chaser, Larens. Maybe overtaking him into the corner. He does so on the momentum. It's going to be over the final couple of corners that everything is decided. And it looks as though Larens might be able to get away with it over the finish line. Oh, with a bit of a dodgy finish for Suram. Larens finishes in front of Suram. Fat Kid, React 4th. Mini Beanie 5th. Zoli de Seon 6th. Then comes Aibo and I think it was Road Acta in P8. Broccoli with a little bit of a full stop and finishes in P12. No, it was 7 in top 8. I'm sorry. Road Acta finished in P13. And the FP14. Hamster Minator P15. And Hunt, unfortunately, joining a little bit late, will not be able to make it to the end. And takes the scaffolding for good measure. So, clean sweep so far for Larens, 100 points, giving him the lead over Suram with 90 points in second. And then third equal are Zehond and Mini Beanie with 72, and completing the top 5 is Fat Kid with 79. Road Capta and 7 taking the inside line, clipping the apex. They're going to be dropping places. Larens getting the whole shot after CP1 with much tighter lines than Suram through there. So it's Broccoli, Larens, Fat Kid, Mini Beanie, and Suram for your top 5 so far. Broccoli now taking over the lead. Suram with a much better line, though he's going to make short work of him. There he is. Suram now getting over to the lead. Let's actually follow some of the chasers. Mini Beanie sitting in P4 right now, waiting for someone to make a mistake. Broccoli going for a tighter line through there. He goes way wide at the exit, though. That's going to allow both Larens and Suram, as well as Mini Beanie through. Mini Beanie is going to have to fight to retain P3, so it seems as though Broccoli gets a lot more momentum. A bit of a wider line through there. And it seems as though Suram in the front has it under control and wins the round. And so, Suram finishes in front of Larens, Broccoli, Mini Beanie, Fat Kid, Solida Zehond, Aibo, and 7 completes your top 8. Next is going to finish the round, overtaking a few people in the process, finishing in P12. Hunt's having a full stop back, but he is actually close enough to the finish that he will make it with with a few seconds to spare. There you go. 2 seconds left on the clock, and Hunt finishes in P15. So, after this round, we see a little bit of a shift here. It's not so much the buffer that Larens needed. Now, he's just 5 points in front of Suram for the lead. Mini Beanie is third on 110. 106 points gives Solida on fourth, and on 105, just 1 point behind, is Fat Kid. Mini Beanie, having made a mistake in the tube section, drops down to P12 immediately. And so far, your lead is Broccoli, Larens, Suram, Fat Kid with a lot of speed loss through there. He's going to be dropping down places as well. He drops down to P10. How unfortunate. And meanwhile, Mini Beanie again and comeback, and unfortunately, clutching the wall here. Spectator curse, I imagine. So then, let's actually follow the battle for the lead. Suram versus Larens. Suram in front of Larens at the corner. Larens with a bit of a better line, able to carry a little bit more momentum, maybe. Onto the final corner. Larens overtakes Suram, and it's going to be on momentum alone. Suram gets it. Suram in front of Larens, Broccoli, Solida Zehon 7, Aibo, Mini Beanie, and Road Captain completes your top 8. And it looks as though we have a tie. Larens scores 45 points and Suram 40 points, and with their current point tally, they're both on 190, and so we're going to have one more round on map 5, which is going to be the decider. And so there you see it. 190 points, first equal, Suram and Larens. It's going to be the battle to settle the map once and for all, following Suram for this round. Suram with a tidy line, but Larens needs to get a little bit more momentum. Onto the tube section we go, and Suram drops a little bit of speed, and Larens gets the whole shot. Procoli emerges in second place. Let's actually try to follow him for a little bit. Procoli in front of the Fat Kid, and now, oh, with a bit of a mistake there. Huge mistake, actually. Holy crap, Procoli dropping down a lot of places, dropping down to Lex, and drops down to P12, actually. Larens now over in the lead. Let's actually follow some of the lead battles. Larens, Fat Kid, Butifara, Zehorn's Aibo, actually, and Suram, having made a mistake, is going to battle over Zehorn for the benefits of P4. He's going to make short work of these guys, though, and it looks as though Larens has made a mistake as well, so it's going to be Suram who takes the win, and his third map. So, there we go, Fat Kid wins the round, but Suram, with 45 points, clinches map number 5. Then the rest of the round finishes. Zehorn, Larens, Butifara, Road Capta, and it looks as though it was 7 in P7 for this matter. No, it was multi in P7, and 7 finishes in P8. And so, after a long battle of 5 rounds, and 5 or even 6 rounds, we've got Suram glitching his first map. So, the first 2 maps were Suram's, the next 2 maps were Larens. Are we gonna see another 2 maps win streak from Suram on the next map? 235 points gives Suram the map in front of Larens on 228, and Zehorn completes the top 3 with 185. After map 5 then, Suram in first creates a little bit of a gap to Larens, then Fat Kid in third, Mini Bini fourth, and Aibo fifth. Just after the map switch, we'll check the standings. So then, after map 5, Suram is first with 1,090 and 28 points, in front of Larens, who's got 980 points, currently sitting in second. Then third place goes to Fat Kid with 891 points, P4 is Mini Bini with 752 points, and P5 is Aibo with 740 points. 6th is Procoli with 702, Zehorn is 7th with 695, Multi 8th with 689, just 2 points in front of 7, currently sitting in P9 with 687, and rounding up the top 10 is React with 529. From 11th to 20th downwards are MDF, Lex, Meister CZ, Rogue Capta, 56k Morty, Ben, Butifara, Fame, Bear Hunt, and Chapelier. And as far as the other scorers go, we got Minator, Hamster Minator 21st with 36 points, and then on 22nd equal with 29 points are Highling 55 and Gemini. So here we go then. Second to last map is Elevated by Zombak, one of the more technical maps of the map pack for June, with a pretty tricky start that actually got me a few tries to actually understand, and yeah, a few very technical sessions make this map somewhat difficult, and an appropriate second to last map before Brookbark, which is going to be the closing map from Aibo. The record here held once again by Cloud with a 49.268, with the Best Diddy Mania record currently held by Andre Fry from THC with a 49.408. So we're going to be following React for this round, so we're going to be a little bit further down the pack, but any case, here we go. Map number 6. Oh, people already failing the start. They pulled a me and went full on 180, and React having made a mistake, and it seems as though he might have retired. So we actually switched over to Procoli, so it is Suram in front of Larens. Fat Kid making a huge mistake and dropping down places. So it's Suram, Larens, Mini Bini, Procoli, and Fat Kid for your top 5. Procoli overtaking Mini Bini for P3, and Mini Bini making a mistake, allowing Procoli through to P3. Suram and Larens, meanwhile, having a battle against themselves for the potential lead of the race. Larens still trying to find a way to gain time on Suram, trying to force him to make a mistake, but Suram so far has not put a foot wrong. It seems as though he's got this round under control, and over the final corner there's little that Larens could do, and Suram thus takes the round in front of Larens. Fat Kid, Mini Bini over finishing in P4, Procoli 5th, then come Aibo, Butifara, and Zehorn your top 8. FDF finishing in P9, the first top 10 finish we've seen of FDF so far. 7 has had a problem, and he is way too far from the finish to actually be able to finish in time, and it seems as though the same goes for Meister CZ, who might have been lost here. And there we go then. So After round 1, Suram in front of Larens, Fat Kid, Mini Beanie, and Broccoli. Let's actually follow Larens for this round. Mini Beanie gets the whole shot after CP1, but it seems as though it doesn't really mean that way. Mini Beanie actually making a mistake and dropping down a few places. Fat Kid emerging into the lead in front of React, Suram, Broccoli, Larens, and Broccoli also involved in the battle. Fat Kid now overtaking Suram for the benefit? No, he was still in the lead, sorry. Now Larens having much more momentum than Fat Kid, potentially taking the lead here. Suram now getting into the mix as well. Fat Kid desperately trying to hang on, but it seems as though he's gonna get overwhelmed by both the Finnish and the Norwegian driver. Larens still having a little bit of an advantage, 28 thousandths of a second in front of Fat Kid at the last checkpoints. Fat Kid resurging and taking the lead. Just 1 corner to go. It's going to be over the line, and it seems as though Larens might get it. Yeah, Larens gets it for 24 thousandths of a second from Fat Kid. So Larens first, Fat Kid second. Then comes Suram, Broccoli, React, Butifara, Zehond, and it seems as though it was Multi who finished in, Multi finished in P8. 7 finishing in P15, and Mini Beanie actually having made a mistake. He scored vital points by finishing in P4 last round, and yeah, it seems as though he will not be able to scoring. Yeah, it was a really nice fight for the top between the top 3 right there for the round. So then, Larens takes the lead with 95 points, Suram relegated to second with 91, then Fat Kid is third at 86 points. Let's actually try to follow Suram for this round. Whole shot is courtesy of 7, but 7 is actually going to drop back down the order after having the wrong line for the next corner, and it seems that the Suram is going to emerge into the lead. Or is it? It is Fat Kid who gets the whole shot after CP2, and it is going to be Fat Kid versus Suram for the lead, with Larens getting thrown into the mix as well. And it seems as though Suram has a much better line through there, a much tidier execution than Fat Kid, and thus he's able to retake the lead and pull a gap of a 10th between him and Larens, who's overtaken Fat Kid for the benefit of P2. And Suram is now going to have to control this. If position stays like this at the end of the round, he retakes the lead by 1 point. Through the final corner, it seems as though Larens made a mistake or got overtaken by Fat Kid for P3, and Suram gets the round. So Suram in front of Fat Kid, Larens, React, Butifara, Mini Beanie, 7, and Broccoli complete your top 8. And so, after 3 rounds, Suram retakes the lead from Larens. We're gonna see that in the standings, and Amsterminator, this is gonna be a bit of a tight night. It's too tight. He will not be able to finish that round, and thus will not score any points. And so, another lead change. This time, Suram reclaiming the lead from Larens by 5 points. 141 points for Suram, 136 for Larens. Fat Kid is third on 131, and then just 2 points apart of P4 and P5. Broccoli and Butifara following Suram once again. Broccoli gets the whole shot, and he might be relegated a little bit. No, he actually managed to stay in the top 3 fight right there. Fat Kid in front of Suram and Broccoli. We're going to see over the whole shot in CP2, and it is Fat Kid who retains the advantage by 11 thousandths of a second. And then Suram overtakes Fat Kid for the lead now. Let's see how the execution goes. Oh, Suram with a much better execution, with a bit of an early drift there, so he might have lost any momentum gain right there. And Broccoli now rising to the challenge at P2, actually battling with Fat Kid and Larens. Larens and Fat Kid overtaking for P2. Oh, and Broccoli making a mistake now, so he's going to drop a few places. Let's actually follow Larens through. He's going to try to defend for P2, but Fat Kid is actually going to have a little bit more momentum. Larens now this time, it is really a bit of a yo-yo between these guys. They're both catching Suram, but it might not be enough. And so Suram clinches the round and the map. Suram in front of Larens, Fat Kid, Zolida Zehond, Ibo, Butifara, Multi, and 7 complete your top 8 for round number 4. And with this, Suram with 191 points wins map number 6. We're sensing a bit of a pattern here. Suram wins the first 2 maps, then Larens wins the next 2 maps, and we see the next 2 maps, so map 5 and 6, won by Suram. And it seems as though it might be some pretty good chance for Suram to actually win the Smurf Cup and end thus the 5-win streak that Cloud has initiated all the way back towards the end of April. And so, we move on to the final map with Mukbark. So, Suram wins with 191 points, in front of Larens with 181, and third is Fat Kid with 172. After the map changes, we're gonna check the standings. And so, after map 6, going into the final map of the Smurf Cup, Suram is in the lead with 1,219 points. Larens is second with 1,161 points. Then, third is Fatkid with 1,063 points. Only these 3 players made it past the 1,000 points barrier. P4 is Ibo with 856, and completing the top 5 is Mini Vinny with 837. 6th is Broccoli with 832. 7th is Zahon with 821. 8th is Multi with 799. 9th is 7 with 765, and rounding out the top 10 is React with 631. From 11th to 20th downwards is MDF, Lex, Meister CZ, Roadcapte, Bootifara, 56k Morty, Ben, Fame, Hunt, and Chapelier. And then towards the back, we see Gemini 21st with 70 points. Then on 53 points, 22nd place goes to Triac 248. Then Hamster Minator scored 48 points and thus classifies himself in P23. And that last with 29 points is Highling 55. But it seems as though he might have left halfway through the cup and thus will not be scoring any further points. So, Mookbark by Ibo, towards the more technical side of things, not necessarily the most difficult map ever, but definitely one of the more technical ones that warranted the closing map spot for this particular month. And the record, once again, and as always, held by Cloud with a 45.505, with the current Indie Mania record held by Suram with a 45.698. And so, warm-up for the final map is over, and we're actually going to see if Suram can keep it together. Anything can happen in Trackmania, and it usually does. Let's actually follow Ibo. Oh, Ibo might have a little bit of a late start. Yeah, there it is. Ibo with a bit of a late start on his own map. That is not really ideal. So anyway, let's get back to the lead. Suram in front of React and Fat Kid. Larens in P4, Multi in P5. Larens resurging into the battle for P2 now. Fat Kid still staying safe, but React chomping up the bit and trying to get involved into the battle for the potential lead here. Suram with a bit of a mistake. He touches the wall and thus allows Fat Kid through and potentially other people. And there we go. Just like that from P1 to P5. Fat Kid in front of React, Larens, Broccoli, and Suram completes the top 5. So far, Fat Kid seems to have it all under control. Let's actually try to follow Broccoli for this round. React trying to take the fight. It seems as though it is Fat Kid who's going to win it. Fat Kid in front of Larens, React, Suram, Broccoli, Zahond, Mini Vinny, and 7 complete your top 8. Try 248, finishing in the round. Ivo finishing in P11 after that late start. Everybody else coming to an end with their round. Everybody seems to have finished. So after round 1, Fat Kid, it takes the lead from Larens, React, Suram, and Broccoli. That's actually trying to follow React for this round. He was the one that took the fight to Fat Kid in that round, and he didn't actually get to see it. It seems as though Larens might have made a huge mistake though. And React gets the whole shot after CP2, followed by Broccoli, Suram, 7, and Zahond. It seems as though Larens might have hit the wall or something, because we actually saw the finish car getting a little bit further away. There you go. He's dropped out of the fight for the top 5 for now. Battling with Mini Beanie for the benefit of P7, P6. Actually, 7 and Zahon are also making a huge mistake, and that's going to allow Larens to P5. Now Larens is going to have to make short work of Ivo to get back to P4 and potentially try to catch the battle for the top 3 here, but it's maybe a little bit too late to do anything. As we see React again battling for the lead with Suram, but Suram is actually having enough of a buffer, and React with a huge mistake drops down lots of places. Suram finishes in front of Broccoli, Ibo, Fat Kid, Larens, Mini Beanie. React drops down from P2 to P7, and 7 finishes in the top 8. Huge mistake by React towards the end, clipping the inside wall and thus dropping out valuable places. And valuable points as well that were important for the final standings. Terrible shame. And so Suram retakes the lead and is actually sharing the lead with Fat Kid. 88 points both, and then third place is also shared, this time between Broccoli and Larens, who are both on 81 points. As we follow React for this round, Larens this time not making any mistake, remaining in the top battle. Suram then in front of Broccoli, and yeah, this is a really good scrap for the lead right there. Suram, Broccoli, Mini Beanie, Larens, and React after CP3. Mini Beanie also trying to spring into the mix. A few surprises, maybe? Let's see how that pans out. Let's actually try to follow Mini Beanie for this round. Mini Beanie dropping a little bit out. He got overtaken by React for the benefit of P5. And it seems as though this group is going to be pretty tight. SmurfScup having a little bit of a buffer though. Let's see how that goes, as we suspected him as he goes to the finish, and there he goes. SmurfScup in front of Fat Kid, Larence, Broccoli, React, Mini Beanie, Multi, and Zehond. Actually, P through to P5 came in a real pack together across the finish line. That was really interesting to see. BMing not able to make it to the finish. Gemini finishing it in this round. We also got a few players who joined in a little bit late, such as Nixter. Alright, after round 2 then, SmurfScup still in the lead and now within striking distance of finishing the map. But so does Fat Kid though. It's gonna be all about the finals point standings. SmurfScup first on 138, and then Fat Kid is second on 133, and Lions third on 122. Oh, Putifara making a bit of a mistake. SmurfScup also not having the best of starts. He's all the way down in P6 right now. He's gonna make his back shortly, don't worry about that. Larence so far in the lead in battle with React. It's gonna be a change of the lead between these guys in the round. Larence having a little bit of a wall touch. He doesn't seem to have lost too much momentum though, or he has had a pretty safe buffer. SmurfScup, there he goes, waiting to pounce, and goes over to P2, battling with Larence now to try and keep P2. React with a lot of mistakes, grinding the inside wall, and thus that's gonna allow SmurfScup to the lead. Fat Kid also resurging from the back of the pack, trying to get into the lead. Larence now overtaking SmurfScup for the lead. It's gonna be a battle over the final corner for the finish line, and it seems as though Larence will get it. Larence finishes in front of SmurfScup, Fat Kid, Broccoli, Ibo, Mini Beanie, 7, and Hunter. And it seems as though the map is over. There we go. With 45 points and 138 points tally, if my calculations are correct, SmurfScup is going to have 183 points to his account, and thus win the 7th and final map. There he goes. GG's are out, and thus SmurfCup number 357 is won by SmurfScup from Team Demise. You see the glimpse of the final standings at the bottom. But just after the map switch, we're going to go over the full standings with all the counts. So then, here are your final results for SmurfCup number 357 on June 8th, 2019. So, SmurfScup is the winner with 1,402 points, and he finishes in front of Larence, who's got second with 1,333 points, and Fat Kid completes the podium with 1,237 points. Only these 3 players managed to get past the 1,000 points barrier. 4th is Broccoli with 989 points, and 5th is Ibo with 983. Mini Beanie finishes in 6th place with 971 points, a good comeback after a poor showing in the last few SmurfCups. Then Zoli the Zehon finishes in P7 with 933. 8th is Multi with 895. 9th is 7 with 879, and finishing in P10 is React with 755 points. P11 is MDF with 660 points. Lex finishes in P12 with 637 points, possibly his best SmurfCup finish so far. P13 is Meister CZ with 589 points. 14th is Roadcaptor with 526 points. Putifara finishes in P15 with 473 points. 56k Morty finishes 16th with 344 points. Fame is 17th with 314 points. 18th is Ben with 310 points. 221 points give Hunt 19th place, and the final spot is actually, in the 20 spot, is actually taken by Gemini with 146 points. Then onto the points, people that actually didn't score through all the way through the maps, as we see Trike248 finishing 21st with 108, Chapelier finishing in 22nd with 84, Hamster Minato finishing 23rd with 48, Hiling 55 having scored 29 points is classified 24th, Nixter finishes 25th having joined in the last map and scored 18 points, Voy finishes dead last, so 26th and last with 13 points. And so, this concludes this cast. This has been SmurfCup number 357. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I certainly enjoyed some of the good fights that we actually had over the course of this cup. It's been a really fun cup to cast, and all I can say is get tuned in next Smurf Cup. So this is going to be Smurf Cup number 358, played on June 15th at 8 o'clock, top of the hour. The stream is going to start out a little bit earlier than that as usual. And yeah, this is going to be pretty exciting. The map pack, again, is pretty fantastic. A lot of technical challenges throughout the map pack. Even though it starts really soft with Aeon Prime, it does really tend to kick in really hard once we get to the maps such as Drive-By Stalking and Zombax map Elevated. Anyways, hello Broccoli. Yeah, GG's indeed. That was a really great cut to see, a really great cup to watch, a really great cup to cast. And so, without further ado, I think it's time for me to close it off. So, see you next Saturday, 15th of June, 2018, for Smurf Cup number 358 at 8 o'clock, top of the hour. Maybe remember to join a little bit earlier. I will be notifying you whenever I go live. Also, I got a few, if you want to join my Discord to be notified whenever I go live, type !Discord, and you'll be given an invite link that you can actually use to join my Discord server. You can also be using it for discussing topics such as gaming, technology, motorsports, and more. And yeah, it's just a great place to hang around that I just set up. And I'm looking forward to see you guys on there. So anyways, I'm going to sign off for now. Thank you very much for watching, and I will see y'all next time. Godspeed, people!